we're going to be talking about this sequence over here, where we have n times x to the n power, where n is equal to 0 to infinity. Now, first of all, we know that this sequence over here is equal to this over here, 0 plus x plus 2x squared, all dot dot dot. I mean, this is obviously true because, well, that's just the sequence. But when we multiply this sequence by x, we get that this is equal to this over here. So if we subtract these two equations, we're going to get that 1 minus x times s is equal to this minus this times x to n. Well, I probably should write that these is in parentheses, but now we can cancel some stuff, and we're going to be left with this over here. Now, if we take a look at this, and we let x be smaller than 1, then we know that this sequence over here, which is a geometric sequence with the first term being 1 and the ratio being x, this is obviously going to be equal to this over here because it's a geometric sequence. So since over here we have it so that it's n equal to 0, and we have it here as n equal to 1, we just have to subtract this over here by 1, because this sequence has it, because the x equal to 0 sequence has it, and this sequence doesn't. So we're going to be left with this over here. But that's 1 minus x times s. So we can just divide both sides by 1 minus x, and we're going to get that this over here is equal to, sorry about that, is equal to x divided by 1 minus x squared. And there you go. That's our answer. But in the second part of this video, we're going to explain another way of doing the exact same thing. In this second method, we're going to be using something called derivatives. Now, we're not going to go too in-depth about this in this video, but the only trick that you need to know in this video is that x to the n powers derivative, which is going to be signified by this over here, or d divided by dx, either one's fine. We're going to be just using this in here. This is going to be equal to n times x to n minus 1 power. So first of all, we already used this sequence in our first part of this video. So now we're going to take the derivative of both sides. The derivative of this over here is just going to be equal to this over here, because, well, you just take the derivative of this and this part over here stays the same. Now the derivative of 1 divided by 1 minus x is equal to minus 1 times minus 1 minus x to the minus 2 power, because remember this is equal to 1 minus x to the minus 1 power, and times minus 1, because minus 1 is the derivative of 1 minus x itself. Now this is just going to be equal to this over here. Now what are we going to, so now that we know that this is equal to this, what do we have to solve again? We have to solve it, so we have to solve this, we have to solve this over here. However, this has n, this over here does not match up with this over here because it has x to the n minus 1 instead of n. So we can just multiply both sides by x, leaving us with the fact that this over here is equal to this times x, which is equal to our answer, x divided by 1 minus x squared. And there you go. That's two ways of finding this sequence over here. The sum of the sequence over here.